Well, I'm on Danforth Avenue the day after law enforcement finally made the name of the mass shooter, Faisal Hussain, public. As you can see, folks, I'm in front of a makeshift memorial. People are coming by here all day long, writing words of encouragement and support. But the question arises, do people here on the Danforth buy the official explanation that Mr. Hussain was acting as a mentally ill individual, or was there perhaps something more to his act of carnage? Are you buying the narrative by the media and the authorities that this was merely an act of mental illness, or was there perhaps something more?
No, absolutely not. This was not active. This is an act of terrorism, absolutely. And my personal point of view, it was projected towards women. Maybe I'm not sure what his objective was, what his motive was, but I do feel he was aiming at women.
Well, certainly unfortunately, the two victims he murdered were women. Sir, if it was terrorism, why is there reluctance on the behalf of the authorities and the media to call it terrorism?
Because of the political agenda.
Come out and tell the truth. And the media now has been hiding a lot of this information, and I think the people are just getting fed up with it.
So, ma'am, you were saying that your daughter's friends were in the second cup and they made it out in time?
They're 17 and two close friends of my daughter, and they were just out getting like a cold drink at the second cup, and they got delayed because they needed a drink remade, thank goodness, or they probably would have walked out the front door just as the shooter arrived. So the gunman reloaded and started shooting again through the front window, and they were able to get out through the back with all of the people there just stampeding to get out, got out through the back alley and then to a stranger's house, and the lady took care of them and drove them home, thank goodness.
He lives in a heavily populated Afghani-Pakistani neighborhood. I used to live there. Unfortunately, had to live in the same building. Once before, many years ago, over 25 years ago, it was a very nice, prestigious area. And then...
You actually lived at 43 Thorncliffe?
Yes, yes, over 26 years ago.
And what made you leave, ma'am?
The area started changing on the east side of that area of Thorncliffe Park Drive.
If he was mentally ill, how did he obtain a handgun? Go to the trouble of that. How did he get some military training? According to a police officer, the way he was shooting was he absolutely had some military training, or at least some training in shooting a gun. And if he's mentally unstable, how did he manage to get a gun and do this?
We are, as pastors, we endeavor to be caregivers. And I have seen, and I think perhaps if you live in this city, you would have seen the upsurge in mental challenges in the city. But in terms of ISIS, we have no comment on that.
It's been a bad year, though, hasn't it? I mean, in terms of how many people are being killed in this city. Do you guys personally feel safe in this city right now?
I feel safe. I love Toronto. I love Toronto. I feel safe.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. It's a cover-up.
Well, you know that the news always, like, according to Trump, fake news.
It's not
Right?
fake news. It's the liberal biased news that wants to hide anything like this from the people so that they don't inflame passions, they don't get people upset. The media is left-wing bias. Everybody knows it, and people are starting to find out about it, and they're starting to get pissed off.
In Canada, we're such a wonderful, supportive country of many cultures. Why take out that kind of anger on all of us who are supportive of different religions and cultures? That would be a shame.
If you see the videos, this guy was trained. He was walking and shooting. I can do that. You cannot do that. Only a trained person can do that.
And he seemed to be very selective with his targets. I mean, he wasn't shooting at everybody. He was going to, specific people.
I'm not sure if he was selecting, but obviously he knew what he was doing. Definitely, because if you look at the videos again, you will see him, the way he shoots and the way he holds the gun. He had some kind of a training, not a small training. He had big training. If you take a gun and you go around, I don't think you can find the target. And he knew how to get the target.
He seemed that way on the video for sure. At the end of the day, was this indeed an act of terrorism?
Who am I to say? But I believe there's some kind of a link. Yes, he had some kind of, I don't want to scare people, but maybe he did, because people are telling me that when he was walking on the street, he was talking in another language, and he was making sounds. I don't know what kind of sounds were he saying.
And for all the politicians, you're not doing enough. I'm sorry, guys, but you guys are not doing enough.
What would you like to see them do, sir?
I don't know if they can get rid of the guns, because look, we're going to get rid of the guns. Then what's going to come out? The knives? And then we're going to get rid of the vans? Okay? We got to go on with our lives. You can't live in fear. We can't live in fear anymore. This is so terrible, and it's killing me inside. That's really hit home. It's just killing me. For the little girl and the 18-year-old, it's just, it rips my heart apart. Like when I heard this, I just could not stop crying. My mom just left for Greece, and then when she called me and she told me how I'm doing, she heard about this. She was just out there like, I would never believe this would happen here on the Danforth. Never. I'll never believe that. And to the politicians, please, I'm begging you, please, from the bottom of Canada, Toronto, please do something, anything, open programs for young children, anything. I'm just so heartbroken that I guess I feel for everybody else, the people in restaurants, and terrible.
Thank you for your time. Hey folks, the Rebel has a brand new app. Please download the Rebel app and take the Rebel with you wherever you go.